Hello guys, it's Peter from PS Sound, and we are going to run around this car and show the changes, what we've done, because this is another project that never really ends. We always tweak it, we see how we can get slightly better results out of the car, which is very challenging. I wouldn't suggest next time, please don't work with a pickup, okay? I would appreciate that. We would definitely have an easier life.
I'm gonna buy a second pickup.
Great. So yes, we had fantastic result with this car. I still haven't had a sum up of the Euro finals, but many of you have seen updates on Facebook. And this car was in any entry unlimited, where there's no limitation on the price category. And both of our cars, this and the Skoda Superb, ended up on the first two places, and actually they scored exactly the same. Judges had to decide which car would be the first, of course, and then they looked at a certain part of the score sheet, potentially a part that matters slightly more, and that's where the Skoda scored a point more. But the overall total was the same on both cars, and this became vice champion, Skoda became champion, but to me they are both champions. I don't care. Out of 15 cars where you have champions competing against champions, people can only qualify to Euros if they place the best in their countries. You know, this was awesome result. And that's exactly why many of you could see previous videos why we did that crazy mid-bass installation in this car, which is probably still something I use as a reference for everyone. When they see this car, I always tell them that, hey, in order to get clean mid-bass, the right response in the intended range where it needs to play, to fill that gap between, 40 and 250 Hertz, those locations work awesome. And yes, we have a pair of mid-bass instead of just a single, because why not? We had the room and the owner likes output as well, so we wanted to give it the best chance. We couldn't fit an 8-inch, especially because of the driver's side, but we had height, so we could fit two 6.5s, and that's how we ended up with these two Micro Precision 7 Series mid-bass drivers. Nothing changed speaker installation wise yet, so that's all the same. Still have the Steg MSS3 on the dash. We still have the ESB 8000 series tweeters on the pillars. But at the back we had changes, and that's the reason for today's little short walk around video. Because you may remember we had two Alpine V9s. They were the V9s. They were 5-channel amps, and we used them to run the whole system, pretty much. Because one Alpine V9 was running one side, the tweeter, mid-bass, rear fill, and the sub with the mono channel, and the other one was respectfully running the other side. But as much as they are fantastic value, honestly, for the money, 5 channels and what you get out of such a tiny little amplifier, it's bloody awesome. I don't think you can show me another amplifier for that price doing 5 channels. However, we could tell that the Alpine was just a little bit lacking when it comes to that refined top-end quality, and we also wanted a bit more headroom on the subs, because we could tell that we were getting into clip. We didn't have enough headroom for the subs, but okay, how much can you ask for from a tiny little Class D amplifier running 5 channels and then also big monsters? One more thing changed actually since the last video, because now I'm seeing in the last video people didn't see that you changed the acoustic elegance subs, right?
Yep.
Because that happened not long time ago, and now some people may question the decision, because like, Pete, you always say that the acoustic elegance is the best sounding IB sub, and it is, and that's not the reason why they were swapped out, because they could go plenty loud. However, when it comes to the ultimate madness and everything, you have to be careful with them, because they can bottom out. But it's really down to how much output someone is expecting below 25 Hertz, because with the acoustic elegance we could still move hell of a lot of air, you could still do pair movement and everything, but you had to play on the edge when you were going bananas. That's my beautiful saying, going bananas, yeah. Going mad, going mental. And then of course there's not much to worry about when you get these FI18s, the IB3s. Well, now they are labeled as one audio, one as the number. If someone hasn't heard about it, then check out, because FI made a new sister company, as much as I understand it, and they only really focus on IB subwoofers. So they took those drivers, the IB3s, out of their product line from the FI brand, and now they have a new brand where they have an IB2, and they also released a crazy driver, a new IB driver, which looks monster, because this one has an 8-inch spider, the new one has a 10-inch spider, and that even intrigues me for those people who want the absolute fucking craziest output levels at the low end. Because you will see, we will have a separate video after this walk around when we will go stupid. You don't often see that, but sometimes we do that. And we will have a separate video demonstrating this and how the vehicle behaves when we go crazy and how much air we can move. Unfortunately, we didn't have an SPI meter to measure it, but you will see from the video that it's plenty capable now, and you don't have to worry about bottoming these subs out. So that was one change that happened a while ago by the owner. He swapped them out. Fortunately, it was straight, swap, same bolting point for the two drivers. But we wanted to upgrade the amplifiers, so we have to go back to that topic. Sorry, I can talk a lot. So we have the Zapco 150.6 AP, the good old, boring, trusted, predictable solution. And to be fair, there was no other option. People were coming up with options, oh, have these two Fortune amplifiers, do this, do that. You don't have space. Honestly. I know you were talking to so many people, but there's no space. Yeah. And this was the only option. So before we had the Hertz passive crossovers here for those rear speakers, and we got rid of them. So now the rear speakers run just with a cap on the tweeter, the mids run full range. So we could get rid of them, we gained space. We had to relocate the power, because before we had the power in the, well, somewhat in the middle, on each side of the ADSP Zapco that we used to have underneath the Zapco HDSP5. We had like another layer where we mounted that amplifier, and now this way, because this amplifier is really thin this way but wide, width is not an issue now, and it just fits. If I can show it, yeah, it just clears from the subs. We have like 1/4 of an inch, maybe, not much, finger distance. And the seat can also clear, because that's the other thing. We have such a tight space that if I tip the seat up, the seat somewhat goes a bit further down and it just touches the amplifier now. When we first mounted it, now it's in a bit of an angle. When first we had it flat, we couldn't tip the seat up. So we had to play with angles, distances, but we had to leave enough distance underneath the amplifier as well, because we have cables running underneath. So yeah, we were playing with millimeters really to get this one in. And then, if you had two Fortune amplifiers, you just wouldn't have the space. The only other amplifier that could fit here, maybe, would be a Moscone Pro.
That's what you know.
No, they have multi-channel amplifiers as well. They have an 8-channel as well, or whatnot, but that has a built-in DSP as well. And okay, but on those, the terminals are facing one direction, and they would have to go that way, but then we have the bottom seat there. So that wouldn't work either. Whereas on these, the terminals are on each side, and then that could just fit.
Maybe two C4s.
No,
together, but they are wider.
No. If you stack them, then the height would be an issue. They would be higher than the Zapco one. Yeah, so that would be an issue. So this was pretty much the only option. And yes, many people know we have used these amplifiers a lot. And for the money, it's really difficult to find anything else, especially that there are not many 6-channel amplifiers on the market. And the 6-channel can run now our whole front end. That runs tweeters, mids, and mid-bass paired on 2 ohm. And yeah, that does that. And then we have 2 Helix P1s at the moment, one for each sub right now, but maybe in the future, if we wanted to try a front sub, because why not, this is going to be a different topic, then we could have these 2 subs running on just one monoblock on 1 ohm. It's still very capable. It's 1.5 kilowatt on 1 ohm. Now we have roughly 1 kilowatt for each, because they are 2 ohm each, and it's silly. Honestly, the car is not ready for that. And then you might be asking, okay, but what's the rear field running off? Well, that's the funniest thing right now, because we have a... Can you please turn the music down at the front, Kevlon? Because this is gonna, screw me up, or probably be copyrights, but whatever. So we have, if you can see, a tiny little amp there, which is like handful size Steg Gloria, 120.2, something like that. It's 100 watt per channel. It's a 2-channel digital amplifier, and it does the job. The rear fill is loud as hell, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no lack of power with that tiny little baby. It's cheap enough, and that was the only thing that could really fit there, because maybe, okay, you could have a bit more width. And it comes with these Molex plugs as well with fly leads, so that helped us as well, because on the other side you have the power section of it, if you can see with this blue light. I don't know, there's just a plug there. But yeah, this way now we have 4 amps, so we need a new power distribution. I will show it on the other side. And then of course we have a small little display. Ooh, look at that, all the stuff that went in those 4 amplifiers. That's the other thing, the P1 is very capable, Class D, so it's efficient. You can wire it down to 1 ohm, and they were also the right size. The only thing that annoys me that we could only fit it upside down. It is what it is. Nobody can see it. But that was the only way to make the wiring properly. And then the 2 monsters. Yeah, you will see in the other video what they do when we let them go loose. Then from the other side you can see that we have now 2 Stinger 4-channel. Yeah, so we have a spare at the bottom and we have 2 spares on the top, and we only have a 4 gauge link to the top, but from that one we only have DSP running and the 2-channel Steg, so perfectly enough. And yeah, we even had to use right angle plugs so the RCA is clear from the seat, because the seat gets really close, plus it's easier to somehow secure the cable as well. So yeah, who would think that this little turnaround took 4 days? Because yeah, we had that mounting for the DSP and before the ADSP that had to be modified. That had to come out, we had to chop it up, and it was already glued together, trimmed together, so it had to be cut up, retrimmed. We had to make a new mounting for the Zapco. We ended up using an 8mm plexi, and then if we use plexi, something thin, because we need the clearance from the seat, then we thought, oh, if it's plexi, then we may as well put an extra LED on it, because why not? It gives a bit more light everywhere in there. So that's where we ended up, and then the rest is the same. The very challenging mid-bass install on driver's side. And we still have plenty of room for the foot to press the pedal, just, and we have grill on the driver, so you can't do anything wrong with it. Probably even 10mm extra would be an issue, but now we are, I think, right on the limit. Well, it clears the MOT test, and I drove it here and I didn't have any issue with the mid bass. It wasn't in my way, although my foot size is smaller than yours. How do you feel about the mid bass? Does it ever cause issue?
No obstructions at all.
Okay. So yeah, we will have a few more changes coming in the future, because we want to play with a different tweeter. We have to change the trim around the mid, because that donut design didn't quite work out with the interior design of the car, especially when you have squarey things, shapes here, and then yeah, whatever. Those are tiny little cosmetic things. And I don't know if this is still alive. No, it turned off because the battery is dying. My Windows 7 that I have to use to connect to the HDSP5, it's already closing down, because I wanted to show to you all the measurements roughly that you can see the evaluation of on our Patreon channel. Check out description. There's a link to our Patreon channel, patreon.com/pssound, where we can share a lot of weekly topics, daily updates, like we were showing the daily updates of this as well, how we were going, all the little tricks and tips of projects we do. And then when I have time, I deal with the RTA evaluations as well. And then you can see, for example, how the subs work in this car when you have one window down, the other side window down, or you have the back open or the back shut. It's very valuable to figure out how pressure works in a cabin. So we will have a video of that too. And for now, this is gonna be it for this video, guys. Feel free to share it, comment, do all the usual things, and then I will see you in the next one. Take care.